I had 17 cars. 3 mansions. A private jet on standby. And last night, I tried to kill myself in a bathtub full of champagne. My name is Sophia. This is not a success story. This is a resurrection. Let me paint you a picture. At 27, I was a god. Not God with a capital G, but the kind of God Instagram creates. 2.4 million followers. A tech finance company I built from nothing. A penthouse in Nairobi that overlooked the entire city like I owned it. Which I did. Or so I thought. My friends? CEOs. Celebrity stylists. Pastors of those big churches where the offering baskets are gold-plated. We flew to Dubai for lunch. Bought bags that cost more than a teacher's 10-year salary. My closet was bigger than my grandmother's entire village. And every night, I would stand in front of my 80-inch mirror, the one with LED lights, and whisper, "You made it, girl. You won." But mirrors lie. But here's what nobody tells you about having everything. At 2 a.m., the parties end. The champagne wears off. The likes stop coming. And you're left, alone. I had 50 unread messages every morning. Want to know what they said? Sophia, can you lend me money? Sophia, can you promote my brand? Sophia, remember me from high school? Not one said, Sophia, are you okay? My mother called every Sunday. I let it ring. My little sister's 21st birthday? I sent a chauffeur with a Prada bag. Not myself. Not even a card I wrote with my own hand. One night, I'll never forget, I was sitting at that table. $80,000 worth of art on the walls. A bottle of Louis XIII cognac, $3,000, sitting right there. And I realized, I was the richest corpse still breathing. I had buried myself alive in silk sheets. That's when I started crying. And I couldn't stop. For 3 hours. Alone. On marble floors. With no one to hear. Then God did something I didn't ask for. He didn't send a preacher. He sent a car accident. I was driving to a business meeting, another deal, another million, when a truck swerved. I remember the glass exploding like confetti. Then darkness. I woke up in a public hospital. Not the private wing I paid for. A public hospital with peeling paint and the smell of antiseptic. Do you know who came to visit me? Not David. Not any of my best friends. Not the pastors I'd donated thousands to. A cleaner. Named Mama Rose. She didn't know I was rich. She just saw a woman bleeding. She held my hand for 3 days. On the 3rd night, I couldn't sleep. Pain everywhere. And I screamed at God. I mean, really screamed. Why? I did everything right. I built an empire. Why did you take it all? And then, I swear this happened, I heard a voice. Not audible. But deep. Like water in my bones. And he said, Sophia. I didn't take anything from you. You buried me under your success. You made yourself a god. And gods cannot save themselves. I stopped screaming. And I started sobbing. Because he was right. That next morning, I did something that made my financial advisor choke on his coffee. I said, sell it all. The mansion? Became a shelter for abused women. The cars? Sold them. Sent every penny to my sister's university debt, she cried for 4 hours. The designer clothes? Gave them to a church auction. Let someone else wear my prison uniform. My friends called me. Sophia, have you lost your mind? I laughed for the first time in years. No, I said. I just found it. David, my so-called best friend, showed up at my door with a contract. Reality TV, he said. $10 million. Just pretend you're still rich. We'll rebuild your image. I took the contract. Looked at it. Then I tore it in half. Right in his face. "David," I said, "you can keep the money. I'm going to find God." He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Then he walked out. I never saw him again. I packed one bag. A small, brown duffel. And I walked out of that mansion wearing a $50 dress and no makeup. The security guard asked, "Madam, where is your driver?" I smiled. I don't need one anymore. I didn't know where I was going. But for the first time, I wasn't afraid. I ended up in a village with no name on Google Maps. No running water. No electricity after 8 p.m. And I have never been so full in my entire life. Mama Rose, that cleaner from the hospital, she lived there. She took me in. Her house was made of mud bricks. Her bed was a mat on the floor. That first night, she gave me her only blanket. "You are my daughter now," she said. And I believed her. The church had 12 people. 12. They sang hymns off key and clapped out of rhythm. But oh, the joy. Nobody filmed it. Nobody posted it on Instagram. They prayed for me, not as Sophia the influencer, but as Sophia, our sister who is hurting. For the first time in my life, I heard God in the wind. In the laughter of children who owned nothing but shared everything. In the old women who fed me from their last bowl of rice. I learned something there. God doesn't live in marble buildings. He lives in "I'll share my last grain with you." He lives in cracked hands that pray. He lives in tears that aren't for the camera. I stayed for 6 months. And every day, I died a little more to myself. And every night, I felt something rise in me. Something ancient. Something holy. Peace. Real peace. The kind money cannot buy. 3 months into my village life, my phone rang. It was David. I almost didn't answer. "Sophia," he said, his voice all honey. "I've got something huge. A reality TV show. $10 million. We'll film you finding yourself, you know, fake tears, fake prayer, fake village scenes. The world will eat it up. We'll be rich again." I stood there. The village children were playing behind me. Mama Rose was humming a hymn as she cooked. David kept talking. "Sophia? You there? Come on, girl. Don't throw away everything we built." I closed my eyes. And I saw it. The old Sophia, the one who would have said yes. The one who would have sold her soul for 10 million and a camera crew. Then I opened my eyes. And I saw the river. "David," I said quietly. "What does it profit a woman to gain the whole world, and lose her own soul?" Silence. Then David laughed. "You've lost it. You've really lost it." "No," I said. "I've found it." I hung up. Then I walked into the river. I lifted my hands to heaven. And I wept. Not tears of sadness. Tears of release. I had passed the test. I chose God. And I would choose him again. And again. And again. Today? Let me tell you what my life looks like now. I have no car. I have no designer watch. I have no 2.4 million followers, I deleted every account. I have a mud brick house with a leaking roof when it rains. And I have never been richer. I used the last of my savings, not to buy back my old life, but to build a school. 60 orphans now have a place to learn. 60 children who will know that they are loved, that they matter, that God sees them. I teach there myself. Reading, writing, and most importantly, prayer. Mama Rose is the headmistress. She still holds my hand every morning before class. My little sister visits every holiday now. She doesn't ask for money. She asks to sit with me under the mango tree. Last month, she said, Sophia, I used to envy you. Now I want what you have. I told her, you can have it. Just give everything away. She hasn't taken that step yet. But she's thinking. My mother? We talk every Sunday now. She prays for me. I cry every time. Good tears. People ask me, Sophia, do you miss the old life? I laugh. Miss what? A prison with gold bars? No, thank you. God didn't give me back the stuff. He gave me himself. And that is the only inheritance that never rusts, never fades, never gets stolen. I sleep on a mat. I wake up to roosters. And I have never felt more alive. So here I am. Sophia. Former queen of nothing. Now a servant of the King of Kings. I had everything the world knows how to sell. And I died anyway. Now I have nothing the world wants. And I am alive for the first time. If you're holding your dream with one hand and God with the other, let me tell you the truth. Drop the dream. He is better. He is always better. He is the only better. I don't know who needs to hear this today. But you don't need another promotion. You don't need a mansion. You don't need flashy friends. You need to fall on your knees and say, God, take it all. Just give me you. Because when you have him, you have everything. Even when you have nothing. My name is Sophia. And I am finally home. Matthew 16 verse 26, NIV. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Share this if you're choosing God over gold. Subscribe for more stories of radical faith.